Spacey Sims, and we are back with more Taisho Alice in Red's route, and we kind of left it on, well, a bit of an awkward spot because we were running a little bit over time. So, Wolf just threw, the Wolf, not our friend Wolf, even though I swear to God that's where this is going, threw a baseball with a note through the window that said he was going to drown me, and I could confess my sins in hell. And then I was trying to close this so he could see, like, oh, the little CG's holding her hand and everything. That's fucking adorable and looking so awkward as shit. But, like, I accidentally clicked instead, so I got it back to where we were. So this is what we missed. So, anyway. Just then, I felt the bed shift. Startled, I looked up to find Red sitting next to me, his face a deep scarlet. Then he put his hand on mine. But please don't look so sad. I'm here to protect you. He stared pointedly at the broken glass as he spoke. It must have taken tremendous courage to overcome his discomfort. Thank you. His kindness made my heart ache. Together we cleaned up the shards of glass, then returned to the living room. It might be best for you to sleep here tonight. Yeah, maybe so. There's other bedrooms. Not that I had much of a choice now that my bedroom window was broken. There were other bedrooms in the house, of course, but I didn't have keys to them, which meant I'd have to break down the door to get in. Not exactly ideal. What is the point of locking all the other guest fucking bedroom? Oh, maybe it's because they're this key ring? Yeah, all the spare keys that someone stole, now I can't get into the other rooms. You know what I mean? I flopped down onto the sofa. The next thing I knew, a sheet of soft red velvet descended over me. What the... It's my spare riding hood. I just thought, since you're still convalescing... Thank you. You're an angel. No, I'm not. You sure? You're always looking out for me. But Don't just stand there. Come over here and have a seat. I sat up to make room for him beside me on the sofa. After a moment of hesitation, he sat down, as far from me as possible. Sure enough, the moment we made eye contact, he pulled his hood down low. You're always wearing that riding hood, aren't you? You must be really attached to it. I didn't realize it was part of his daily wear. I thought it came with the uniform. I am. Where did you buy it? Oh no, it was a gift. From that one friend you mentioned? His grandmother, actually. Whoa, she must be really talented. And she has an eye for style, too. I know, right? She's exceptionally skilled. And not only can she sew, she can cook, too. He excitedly balled his hands into fists as he spoke. Oh, sorry about that. No, don't apologize. Tell me more. This topic is irrelevant to you. So what? I still want to know. After a long pause, Red reluctantly gave in. A long, long time ago, as a child, I learned that I was different from other kids. I didn't fit in. So instead of going to school, I would go to the lake every day. And that's where I first met him. No matter how hard I tried to ignore him, he would talk at me endlessly. Frankly, it was annoying. But he considered me a friend, and so we ended up playing together. One day, he invited me over to his house. He lived alone with his grandmother, who he practically worshipped. I mean, Granny's cool. She could be terrifying when she was angry, but she had a good heart. I was a stranger to her, and yet she treated me like a second grandson. Naturally, I quickly took a liking to her, and from then on I'd visit their house every day. She would always bake cakes for me, patch up my torn clothing, tell me old anecdotes. She really made me feel loved. And then one day she gave me a Red Riding Hood as a surprise gift. It was the first gift I'd ever received, and I was so touched. The more I wore it, the more natural it felt, until eventually I couldn't stand to be without it. Sounds like these people were both really important to you. They were. He smiled, a faint, wistful smile. Look at his precious little face. But in the next instant, it was gone. Your family still isn't worried about you? Huh? Here you are in a life-or-death crisis, and we still haven't heard one word from them. Oh, yeah. I smiled sadly. Your family is completely irresponsible. I don't care how busy they are. Do you disagree? No. My lack of response brought him back to his senses. I apologize. As an outsider, I have no right to make comments about your family. Thank you. What? Thank you for worrying about me. For caring about me. No. That's not... Well, maybe... Being around you throws me off. Does it? No shit. I mean, yes, quite. How so? Whenever our eyes meet, I get these strange heart palpitations. My chest aches, and I feel short of breath. And somehow I can't stop thinking about you, or looking at you. And for some reason, I've been telling you things I'd normally never speak a word of to anyone. So what? You don't like talking to me? I never said that. So you do like it? Well? Yes, I like it. But don't get the wrong idea. I only like it because you're so interesting. Uh-huh. I'm not usually like this. Normally I'm stoic and rational and smart. I don't rely on anybody but myself. Yeah, I know. You're pretty dreamy. That's why being around you makes me so flustered. And talking to you is so much fun. Is that so? Yep. Oh my god, we're like telling our love to each other now. I can't say I'm opposed to spending time with you myself. He smiled dreamily. If he had a tail, I'm sure he'd be wagging it right about now. He might, you don't know. What's so funny? Oh, nothing. To be fair, I'd be wagging my tail too. How fucking adorable. I don't understand romance. I don't understand emotions. Nobody does. Especially not hers. How can I get her to notice me? Oh, that's not him, I don't think. Is it? Oh, I guess it was. When I arrived home at our little cottage, no one was there to greet me. It was so dark and quiet that for a moment it felt like all the boisterous fun earlier was a mere dream. When I flicked on the lights, I noticed a small amount of money on the table. And this was my food money. You see, my mother worked at the flower shop. She worked from morning until night and was rarely ever home. Whenever she did come home, however, she always left me some money for food. The house was always empty. No people, nothing. To me, this was normal. Emptiness was normal. My heart was empty too. But recently, things had changed. Lately, I despised going home. Each night I wished I could skip 12 hours ahead to the next day. I longed to spend my time in the sunshine with my two favorite people. I yearned for that warmth. My dinner at night could never compare to grandmother's home cooking earlier that day. I clutched the Red Riding Hood, her gift to me, in my hands. Here in this empty house, it was my one and only treasure. I'm sorry, Lord. I'm a bad kid. Whenever my mother was around, she would always tell me, "Now listen here. You're not like all the other kids. You're a precious angel. And that's why you mustn't play outside. The world is filled with wicked wolves, and you can never trust them. So if one of them talks to you, be sure to ignore them." His mother is fucking crazy. I mean, I kind of understand her being like, don't leave the house, you're just a child, and like, you're trying to protect your kid from getting kidnapped, but like, you know what I mean? Like, you're basically setting your child up with this crazy-ass fucking complex. Like, anyway. You have to watch the house while I'm gone, understand? And if anyone knocks on the door, don't let them in, no matter what. Yes, Mother. But I broke that promise. I disobeyed my mother, left the house, and even befriended a wolf. Not only that, but I received a gift from the wolf's grandmother, and I loved it with all my heart. I knew I was doing something wrong, and yet I just couldn't keep myself away from Grandmother's house. Welcome, looking for flowers? One day I randomly came to a stop outside the flower shop. The flowers on display were radiant and beautiful, as were the smiles of the women admiring them. And just then I thought of Grandmother. It occurred to me that perhaps she'd appreciate a return gift as a thank you for the Red Riding Hood. Unfortunately, I didn't have the money to buy flowers. So I decided to go looking for flowers in the forest. Fortunately, I managed to find a few small ones, so I picked them and headed off to Grandmother's house.
There you are! Where were you today? Wait, what's with the flowers?
I hung my head in shame.
What's the matter, dear?
Grandmother, these are for you, as thanks for your gift.
For me? Oh my, what sweet little flowers. Thank you.
I held out the flowers I'd picked in the forest, and sure enough, she looked positively delighted. Sometimes hand-picked flowers are nice, man.
Oh, Little Red Riding Hood, you're such an angel. You really like that riding hood, don't you? Yeah. Glad to hear it. Perhaps I'll make you another one sometime.
Every time he comes here, I just feel like something bad is going to happen. Like, he's like, I bring the flowers. I'm like, oh God, I don't need anything bad happen to Granny. Something bad's going to happen to Granny. When Grandmother praised me, it made me feel like maybe I wasn't such a bad kid after all. Sounds like our friend might not be too thrilled. Maybe you know what I'm saying? He sounds pissed that Grandma's happy with us. I'm glad she liked the flowers. On my way home, I passed by the flower shop once again. The flowers there were all much bigger and more beautiful than the ones from the forest. In an instant, I quickly grew ashamed of myself. Perhaps she would have preferred a flower from the shop over some measly forest wildflowers. But with the money I had on hand, I could scarcely afford a little flower, much less a big, impressive one. So what was my solution? Simple. I decided to save up my money. I'm hungry. I didn't get an allowance, so instead I decided to use my food money as flower money. That's so sad. He's just starving himself to buy nice flowers, and he's going to piss off his friend. Naturally, I still needed to eat, so I bought the cheapest canned food I could find and subsisted off that. Oh my God, and this is where he started with the canned food. But also, his mother doesn't buy food and leave it in the house. She gives him money to buy food, but tells him never to leave. How the fuck is he buying food if he can't leave the house, bitch? She wants her kid to die. She's like, here's your money for food. Don't ever leave the house. And then he's like, and she's like, catch-22, he'll never leave the house, and then he'll die. But I thought he knew he could get food, and now he died. And she's like trying to kill him, I think. I hope she'll like it. The thought of her smiling face made it easier to ignore my hunger. In the meantime, I continued to pick flowers from the forest every day.
Thank you, Little Red Riding Hood. You're such a precious little angel.
Grandmother would praise me each time I brought her flowers. And each time I deluded myself into thinking I wasn't a bad kid. You're not, you poor thing. And then one day my friend said to me,
Picking flowers is stupid girl stuff.
Huh? It is?
Yeah, and we're not stupid girls, so let's do something cooler.
Like what?
Well, there's a lot of trees around here. Let's build a tree fort. Then we can play all we want without anyone bothering us.
You can't do that. Grandmother said so. Because my friend had a weak constitution. Oh, I don't know, I was reading it on a different voice. Anyway, he was barred from strenuous physical activity. And thus Grandmother had asked me to watch over him and make sure he didn't run himself ragged. This is definitely fucking Wolf. I'm sorry, didn't Wolf make a comment about having had a weak constitution as a kid, like, earlier? And also, I mean, I think it was pretty obvious him wearing the wolf thing, but
I can handle it as long as I don't overdo it.
You're not allowed. As I protested, my friend grew red in the face and began to shout at me.
Oh yeah? You think you're some perfect angel now?
Well, no,
If you want to be a goody-goody so bad, then why are you here, huh? Shouldn't you be at school with the rest of them?
Like I said, Mother told me I'm not allowed to go to school.
Yeah, so? She told you not to leave the house either, but here you are.
Yeah, but...
Your mom's a bitch. I bet she ditches you to go have fun by herself.
Stop it.
One time, I saw her walking around town with some guy.
I don't think our mother works at the flower shop. We walked by the flower shop and our mom didn't see us. That's what I was saying. Stop it. Stop it. Stop it.
That's enough. Watch your mouth. Ouch. Grandma, how come you're on his side? Because you're in the wrong. Well, excuse me? I'm in the wrong? So is he.
As he spoke, he pointed at me. It's really hard to switch voices. He was right, of course. I knew I was a bad child deep down.
I'm your grandson, not him. You're my grandma.
And just then he doubled over, clutching at his chest. All the color drained from his face as he grimaced in pain.
Are you all right?
Grandmother dashed over to him in a hurry, and in the process she dropped the flowers I had given her. As he writhed in pain, she held him close and spoke in a shaky voice.
It's gonna be all right. Hang in there, sweetheart. Your grandma's right here with you. Grandma.
And that was the moment I understood. I could act like an angel and give her flowers all I wanted, but I would never be her real grandson.
This poor precious baby just wanted someone to love him, and his mom never loved him, and Grandma loved him, but he still just didn't accept that
someone else's grandma could love you. He's like, she's not my grandma. It's okay. She could be everybody's grandma. Oh, poor little baby. Like, snoring. The sun rose on the horizon. And meanwhile, Red was sound asleep on the sofa. He must have been exhausted after everything that happened yesterday. I stroked his head through the fabric of his riding hood. Truth be told, I was tempted to take his hood off, but I knew better. After all, that Red Riding Hood meant the world to him. No one but him had the right to remove it. I leaned in and whispered in his ear, I'm gonna fix you, Red. I mean, okay, normally I would be like, you can't just fix someone, but he does need to be fixed, so I'm okay with you fixing him. 2 hours later. Oh, good morning, Red. I was in the middle of making breakfast when Red sat up on the sofa. He froze in place for a moment. Maybe he wasn't entirely... Oh, he froze in place for a moment. Maybe he wasn't entirely awake yet. Red? I raised my voice a little louder. Good morning. He looked at me sleepily. Definitely not quite awake yet. That's right. What about the wolf? What about him? Red seized me by the shoulders. Did anything happen while I slept? Are you hurt? No? Why didn't you wake me when you got up? Did you forget you're being stalked by a dangerous criminal? We must take every precaution. Oh, I'm sorry. At least he didn't scream at me this time. Sorry. Oh no, it's fine. Spoke too soon. He looked at me with tears in his eyes. It's just, you look so peaceful, and I couldn't bear to ruin it. I don't care how peaceful I looked. Your safety is the priority. I'm sorry. I'll be sure to wake you next time. You promise? I promise. Normally I would have liked to do a pinky swear, but given his condition, I was better off not pushing my luck. Oh, that reminds me. Breakfast is ready. Breakfast? As soon as he saw what was waiting for him on the table, his eyes grew round as saucers. Is that... It's a skillet cake. After you mentioned baking cakes yesterday, I felt like making one myself. I was hoping to make it a little fancier than this, but I didn't have enough time or ingredients on hand. Sorry. The cake itself was baked in a skillet using soft wheat flour and baking soda. Then I added whipped cream, jam, and mint leaves as a garnish. All told, it was still a rather plain cake, but at least this way it resembled something along the lines of a chiffon cake. I just want to try that. You're like, that sounds like fluffy and What? What? No, that's all right. It's perfectly fancy as is. Grandmother's cakes were even more basic than this, if you can believe it. Oh, really? I should have asked for more details. Can you tell me more about them? Are you planning to make one? Yeah, no promises, of course, but I'll give it my best shot. I am pretty handy in the kitchen, after all. Yes, I know. This time it was my turn to look at him in surprise. Usually he'd always eat my cooking in complete silence, so his opinion of my skill had been a total mystery until now. May I have some? Oh, yes, of course! He sliced off a forkful, then shoved it into his mouth. How is it? It's good. Really? Oh my gosh, I'm so glad! Go ahead and have as much as you like, okay? I can make as many of these as you want. Oh my god. The next day, we just see, like, fucking Red Riding Hood, and she's just rolling. He's Red Rolling Hood now, because he's, like, so fucking round. It's like he can't use his legs anymore. Oh, and also, do you have any other requests or favorite dishes? Just say the word, and I'll do my best to make as much as you want. I got so excited I started babbling at 1,000 miles a minute, and kept repeating as much as you want, for some reason. Why are you so... What? In contrast to my giddiness, Red looked somewhat conflicted. I tilted my head at him, encouraging him to speak his mind. Never mind, it's nothing. It'd now been a week since I received the first blackmail letter, and 5 days since Red's arrival at my house. Once again, I was headed off to school. I wasn't going to let anything stop me, not even the big bad wolf and his mean, scary blackmail. Are you sure you want to go? Yep. Shouldn't you stay home? Lest you forget you have a dangerous stalker. What if he makes good on his promise and tries to kill you? So you think I should just hide in my house forever? I don't think so. Have you no sense of danger? Once you lose your life, there won't be a second chance to try again. That's not true. The wizard will let me do it. I'm gonna end up dead in one of these bad endings, aren't I? It'll be like, trust Wolf. Don't fucking trust Wolf. Red has been bickering with me about this all morning. It's strange. He never would have acted like this just a few short days ago. But maybe this was to be expected. After all, I was being pursued by a scary, vicious wolf. What's the problem? You'll protect me, won't you? Of course I will. No matter where you go, I shall be right there to protect you from any villain. Sounds like I can really count on you. Of course you can. I'm a police officer, after all. Right. Listen, Hey, we both started talking at the same time, then both hesitated in union as well. In unison. Wow, I can't read. You first. No, by all means, you first. With neither of us willing to go first, an awkward silence descended between us. We were getting nowhere fast, so eventually I caved. What do you plan to do after the case is closed? What do you mean? When I asked you last time, you said you'd leave as soon as the wolf is apprehended, right? Well, of course I would. My mission would then be complete. I see. Silence descended between us once more. I decided to give him a little nudge to help to get the ball rolling. What were you going to say? Oh, yes, He faltered. The light seemed to leave his eyes. No, it's nothing. Oh. What is it? Is it the wolf? No, I just realized we're already almost at the school. Oh, right. Well, anyway, I'll be going now. I gracefully spun on my heels and turned toward the school building. Right. Take care. I quickly found, however, that I was unable to move. Why, you ask? Because Red had grabbed me by the arm and was refusing to let me go. All at once he leapt away, his face flushed scarlet. I apologize. It was an impulse. No, it's fine. Evidently even he wasn't quite sure why he'd grabbed me. Is he, like, on the fucking floor now? Oh God, why would I do that? He shrank down into a ball as he mumbled to himself. He's really got issues. I hope the wolf isn't a woman, because he's gonna have a hard time catching her. Much as I wanted to stay and relish the moment, I had classes to attend. That would have almost been fucking hilarious. Like, that would be like a hilarious thing in a game. Like, you're like the fucking criminal, like mastermind, and he's like supposed to be the cop that's supposed to arrest you, but he can't touch girls. It makes me awkward, and you're like, I just kind of want to play a villain that gets the little boys, you know. I'm just saying, you know, not the sweet, innocent little dandelion. I wanna be the bad guy. I want to date the bad guys too, but I also want to be the bad guy. I mean, I like her pluck and her sass and all that stuff like that. It's better than most games where we're like, I am a delicate little flower and I cannot do anything. And like, you know, she's got sass. She's got sass in the ass, and I like it. And she's got a personality, but I want like a darker personality. I want to be a criminal. I am the criminal. I will rob and steal, and then you are trying to catch me, but you can't touch girls. It could just be kind of fun, the dynamic, right? Anyway. I crouched down and looked into his eyes. Okay, I really gotta go now. Yes, ma'am. He jumped to attention and saw me off with a dutiful salute. Barf. What's wrong? Feeling sick or something? Yeah, you could say that. Sick of your face. I kind of love our brother. He's an asshole, and I want to date him. I know he's her brother, but I don't want him to be our brother, and I want to be able to date him because he's such a douche. Rude! Ugh. If you keep bullying me, I'm not going to make your lunch anymore. I never wanted it in the first place. You're the one who kept insisting. Oh, right. You seem to be in a chipper mood. I take it things are going well with him. That obvious, huh? Anyway, yes, things are going well. Better than they were before, at any rate. It's been a busy week, to say the least. I slumped my shoulders. Oh, what's wrong, sourpuss? You tired? His expression didn't shift a fraction, but his tone took on a hint of amusement. Exhausted, actually. Did you see the damage? Flower beds trampled, house ransacked, and a broken window. That's crossing a line. Complain all you want, but that won't undo it. I mean, yeah, but... Is Wolf out sick again today? Yeah, he is. You're gonna see him today, right? Yep, I even baked a cake. I held up my wicker basket containing small get-well gifts. Cool. Ugh, you don't care at all, do you? What do you want me to say, then? If Wolf were here, he'd say, Whoa, are you for reals? That's so awesome! I knew I could count on you, stunner! Or something along those lines. Sadly, my imitation of Wolf, which I'll have you know was extremely accurate, didn't win me any points with Mr. Huntsman. I wish we could go back in the game. Like, just rewind back a little bit, because I would read that in Wolf's voice, and then I would, when she's like, I'll have you know, my impression of Wolf was extremely accurate, I'd be like, I know! It was. It wasn't, but... Ugh, don't give me that look. It's like talking to a brick wall. This is why you can never keep a girlfriend, you know. Or maybe they shouldn't enter into a relationship with unrealistic expectations. Sure, buddy. Don't blame me when you end up alone at age 40. Ouch! Oh, the shade! I could live with that. With that comeback, Mr. Huntsman pulled a lollipop out of his jacket pocket and started to unwrap it. Anyway, you're going over to Wolf's place, right? I imagine he'll appreciate some advance notice, so I'll give him a heads up. Thank you! Alright, now get lost. Oh, come on! Let's keep chatting a little more. Unlike you, I have to get back to work. But we're on lunch break. He frowned at me, the lollipop poking out from between his lips. Wow. Oh, Hanashi. Shimasho. Shimashoyo. Shimashoyo. Shimasho. I know it. You know what's funnier? I can read it when I'm doing... Like, and it's actually written in, like, hiragana. I don't know why. I could recognize it that way, but when it's written in Romaji like this, I'm like, oh, yeah, okay. Oh my god. Let's talk. No, we don't want to talk. Oh, hanashi shimashou yo. Shimashou. Mr. Mr. Huntsman, am I a bad person? Yep, you're the worst. I get lost. No crime goes unpunished. Which means I might get my just desserts here soon. Mr. Huntsman listened to me intently. From who? The wolf guy? Yes? Well, as you saw in the blackmail letter, he believes in his own personal sense of justice. Who knows what he might try to pull? Are you worried? That's so sweet! I wonder what Red's up to right now. Watching over you, I assume. Yeah, to keep me safe. You seem happy about that. I know, messed up, isn't it? As I spoke, I wandered to the window. Outside, Red was patrolling around the school gates, looking anxious. Think he'll come over here? Doubt it. There's still so much I don't know about him. Bit late for that now. Sorry to say, a week just isn't enough time to figure someone out. Knowing you, I'll bet you fell head over heels for him and professed your feelings at the first sign of reciprocity. Wow, I can't read. No, I haven't. Not yet, you mean? You're such an open book that it freaks people out. Have some self-restraint. You don't want to get shot down, do you? Honestly, I could live with that. Oh, right. Forgot I was talking to you for a minute. I don't care if the one I love rejects me, as long as it means he'll be happy. I gotta say, I will never understand how your mind works. Isn't that your job? Or is that hunter license just for show? Trust me, you're beyond my expertise. I smirked at him. Then as my gaze casually drifted to the window, I spotted Red glancing around nervously as he headed into the school building. Oh. What's up? He's coming this way. I gotta go. Spacey! Yes? Just watch out for wolves, alright? Red! Oh, Miss Arisu. What are you doing here? Shh! He pressed his index finger to his lips. Then he gestured for us to move toward the bushes, so I obliged. No, really, what's going on? I'm sorry. I was afraid I'd be thrown out if anyone spotted me. I wanted to disagree, but instead I laughed vaguely. Anyway, just glad you're safe. Of course I'm safe here. I've got my very own support network. Right, your friend. Your male friend. Yeah, he's part of it, but he's been out sick since yesterday. He has? Yeah, didn't I tell you? He caught a cold. The look on his face suggested he'd only just remembered. But that's no big deal. Not like anything's happened, you know? I gave a cute little shrug. This time he looked at me like I'd grown a second head. I haven't seen that one in a while. Plus, it's not like I don't have other friends. And for the time being, I shall withhold any further comments. Your safety is all that matters. He heaved a sigh of relief. On further inspection, he looked a bit pale for some reason. Is something wrong? No, not really. Are you feeling sick? Is your fever flaring up again? No, that's not it. I just don't feel comfortable here, I suppose. After a moment of contemplation, I clapped my hands together. All right, then. Let's skip school. What? I wanted to go visit my friend anyway, so this works out perfectly. Where did this come from? Ignoring his palpable hesitation, I took a few steps forward, then spun on my heel. We're going on a date, Red. A date? A date. Date. Hello? Earth to Red. I waved my hand in front of his face. Forgive me. I was lost in thought. It's fine. Are you absolutely certain you wish to skip school? Yeah, I don't care. Truth be told, I'm no angel. Surely that's... Normally I'd like to take you someplace fancy like a movie theater, but that'll have to wait for another time. And so we found ourselves at the lake shore. During weekdays, the entire forest area was deserted, enabling a relative level of privacy. Personally, I was in the mood to break out our lunchboxes and have a picnic. So I stabbed my fork into one of the bacon-wrapped asparagus spears and offered it to Red. Say ah! Over my dead body. Blushing, he quickly leaned back. Darn. Oh well, I tried. I probably gave up and put the fork in my own mouth instead. What was that? Nothing. He was like, "Aw." Aw. What? Nothing? His pouty face was so unbearably adorable, I couldn't help but swoon a little. Oh yeah, and I've got some leftover cake from breakfast, so let me know if you'd like some. Will do. Oh yeah, I almost forgot. The word cake reminded me of something else. Could you tell me more about your friend's grandma's cake? Did she give you the recipe? I don't have the recipe, but I remember it was purple in color, and there were grape-ish things inside. Purple in color with grape-ish things inside. What did it taste like? Faintly sweet. Not too tart. Both the shape and texture were quite similar to yours, however. Sounds like my recipe isn't too far off then. I just needed to change up the ingredients. Ah, okay, I was like, grape-like things, probably grapes. What will you add to make the cake purple? Blueberries. Because they would, even though they're blue, they make things purple. What will you use for the grape-like things? Actual grapes? Well, I don't think you'd put actual grapes. Well, I don't want to use beans. Actual grapes in a blueberry? I was like blueberries. So maybe that was wrong. I was thinking of blueberry, like actual blueberries to make it that color. You know what I mean? Like it's a blueberry cake and the blueberries were the... I didn't realize that we were just doing just the color and then the grape-like things. He would know what an actual grape is, so I would assume it's not grapes. I would assume it would be raisins then. But here's the thing. We make cakes and you're like, yeah, blueberries and whatever. We don't make cakes with like red beans and all that stuff like that. So, you know what I mean? Because I wouldn't do eggplants. What was the other one? They just sounded like you were just like, in a cake? But then again, you know, we make things different. So, I don't know, I guess raisins, but blueberry raisin cake? Sure. I think I might know what to do. Maybe. And just from that? Yeah, I'll give it a try sometime. I don't know. Oh, but then again, you're gonna leave right after you catch the wolf, so... Well, if... Huh? If you would like, I could always come visit. Oh, he fucking loves us. He is so hard in love with us. I can't even handle it. I mean, weren't you saying how your garden, you know, comes to life in the spring? Of course you can visit me, silly. Oh, I don't want to read Japanese right now. It's so hard. Your words are getting better. Itsudate Daikange? Daikange? I don't know. I've never heard that before, so I don't know. That's totally wrong. But anyway, you're always welcome at my house. Praise to know. But, you know, thank you. He smiled shyly. I like it better when it's something that I know, but I always say things wrong anyway, so it doesn't matter. You're always so kind to me. I only wish I could repay the favor. You are, silly! You're guarding me right now, aren't you? Yes, but guarding you is my duty. And you took care of me when I was sick, and you made me porridge, and you bought me a flower. Well, if anything, you're the one spoiling me. So if there's ever anything I can do for you, just say the word. What the? What was lewd about that? Does he just have his mind in the gutter 24/7? Sorry. He swayed unsteadily, his hand clenched over his nose. Are you okay? I'm fine. Find my foot. You look white as a sheet. Clothesline him! In response to this blatant deceit, clothesline him. I feel like that's a little too much for someone who has a nosebleed. Tickle him? Summoning my resolve, I got to my feet. Red. Yes? Gah! Take this! Once his guard was down, I lunged at him and tickled his sides. He eeked! Yeah. Stop. Please stop. Good. That's the reaction I was hoping for. In the heat of the moment, I pushed him down. What? With me sitting on top of him and smirking, Red froze stock still like an ice sculpture. You were sitting on top of him! So I took that opportunity to shift into a lap pillow position. Once I lifted his head and placed it on my thighs, Red snapped back to reality. What? It's the lap pillow trope you didn't know you wanted. My head on your thighs? Quiet down now. I looked down at him sharply. Nose gushing blood, Red opened and shut his mouth repeatedly, but no words came. He looks like he's dying. Meanwhile, his complexion was a kaleidoscope of colors, flushed one minute and pallid the next. If you keep bleeding this much every day, you're gonna end up anemic. I pulled out a handkerchief and mopped him up. Miss Arisu. Yes? He called my name between gasps of breath. As I peered down at him, however, he averted his gaze. Never mind. It's nothing. You're like a broken record today. I stroked the golden strands of hair peeking out from beneath his hood. Oh, sorry. I wasn't thinking. It's fine. If you don't like this, just say the word and we can stop. I know what you're thinking. Oh, now you ask? And all I have to say is this. Better late than never. Yeah, my God, there are so many wrong things about this. Well, I mean, I should have asked if I could have sex with her, but better late than never. No! Oh my God, consent! You forced his head into your lap. I mean, this is the least, rapey, non-consensual thing. But still, this is against his consent, goddammit. And we are being highly inappropriate. Oh my God. He didn't respond. I guess that means he's fine with it? After an awkward silence, Red seemed to regain his composure. Do you do this sort of thing with everyone? What? Do you do this with your male friend, for example? No, just you, really. Even after you discover the real me. What do you mean, the real you? Oh, it's nothing. Are you the wolf? He fell silent, grimacing. I stared at him intently. As I recall, the real you is... What was it you said? Stoic, rational, smart, and self-reliant? I recited his professed self-image back to him. Well, yes, but the real me is less admirable. Truth be told, I'm incredibly weak-willed and cowardly. And deep down, I'm an awful, terrible person. Red. I'm the same way, you know. And the thing is he thinks he's an awful, terrible person because he left the house when he was a kid. It's like, no, your mom is crazy. I mean, legitimately probably trying to protect you from getting kidnapped or, taken away or some shit when you were out alone where she couldn't watch you. But, if she wasn't working at the flower shop and she would just work in the corner, I guess you gotta make money somehow. But, she's a little crazy about it. She could have just been real with you, but... You are? Yeah, the real me is dark and twisted. Maybe it's no wonder the wolf has it out for me. I mean, we are, forcing shit on him without his consent and he keeps saying no. So, I mean, we are a little bit twisty. I gave him a pained smile. Be that as it may, I will still protect you regardless. Right. Thank you. You really are a sweetheart, you know that? Right. He looked to be the one on the verge of tears, so I gently stroked his head. This time he didn't make a fuss about it. He just quietly accepted it. You've beaten him into submission. Then after a moment, he whispered, Once I catch the wolf, once I apprehend the criminal, there's something I'd like to talk to you about. You can't tell me right now? Not yet, no. Well, okay. Once you've caught the big bad wolf, I'll be right there to hear you out. He pursed his lips together like he was biting back all the pain in his heart. His golden blonde lashes seemed to be trembling. Up until just I was reading that like it wasn't somebody talking. Up until just a few days ago, I was perpetually alone. I never could have imagined something like this would happen. Does the solitude bother you? Like you, I found that I've grown quite used to it. Over time, I simply learned to stop feeling sad or angry about it. Did you, though? Are you sure you stopped? If you ask me, I bet you never once stopped hating it. Sure, maybe you were alone at one point, but then your friend came along, right? And then you met his sweet old grandma. You really think you could go back after that? I think deep down you've been conscious of your loneliness this whole time. God, it's like therapy session right now. But look at us now, Red. I have you and you have me. And there's more to this story. So much more. I just wish you'd open your eyes and see it. Ah, this is him again. One sunny afternoon found me standing outside the flower shop, hesitant. I was torn, unsure which flower to buy, unsure which would make grandmother the happiest. At last I had saved up enough money to purchase flowers from the store that your mother supposedly works at. You don't think she's going to see you? All those nights of going hungry would finally be worth it. I was in high spirits, excited for the gorgeous bouquet my money could afford. Red, white, pink, purple, yellow. The flower shop was awash in colors. Personally, I was partial to red. After all, it was the same color as the riding hood grandmother had given me. And in my eyes, that made it a special color. My attention was drawn to the roses, which stood out among the rest of the red blooms. I was by no means an expert in flowers, but roses were familiar at least. Unfortunately, I couldn't afford a full bouquet of them when the price for even a single rose was exorbitant. Maybe I should keep saving up. I could afford to wait, after all. And just then, someone called out to me.
Ah, I found you! What are you doing here? I've been searching for you.
Oh.
How's it hanging, Red? What you up to?
It was unusual of him to track me down. Nothing much.
Well, whatever. Say, let's go to the lake.
The lake? Sure, I don't mind. And so, at my friend's insistence, we headed to the lake where we first met. There he told me that he'd gotten into an argument with grandmother. You did?
Yeah.
But you guys are so close.
Not my fault she's such a nag. I kept telling her I'm fine, but she never lets me do anything.
But that's only because she cares about you.
I know that.
According to him, they'd gotten into an argument over a small trifle, leading him to run away from home.
I just want to play outside, that's all. I want to run super fast and go see faraway places. I don't want to be stuck here twiddling my thumbs forever.
I felt sorry for him. He was born with a weak constitution that made strenuous physical activity dangerous.
You're so lucky. I wish I was strong like you.
Huh?
I always wanted to be a lone wolf, rational and smart and self-reliant. But at this rate, I'll never be. I wish I was you.
I was startled to hear this. I never imagined he would ever say such a thing. Unlike me, he had everything. He was smart and confident, and extroverted and rich. The more I learned about him, the more he felt like he was from a different world entirely. They live in a little cottage. I don't think they're rich. It's just they can afford to eat and your mom does. They live in a tiny little house too. And yet now he claimed he wished he was me. It was simply unbelievable.
Good thing I met you, or else my life would be pretty boring right about now.
This is fun?
Of course. Talking to you is always a blast. It's great.
He dismissed my doubts with a laugh.
Guess what, bud? You're hanging out with me all day today. We're gonna make that tree fort. I brought all my favorite stuff from home. You want to see it, right? Don't you? Right?
Yeah. And so I agreed to his proposal. Was it because I'd seen a new side of him? Was I tickled by the thought of him envying me? I couldn't say. But if only I'd had the sense to stop him then, things never would have turned out the way they did. We decided to build our tree fort deep in the woods. Meanwhile, I kept watch to ensure he didn't overexert himself. First, we collected tree branches, cardboard boxes, and other materials. Then I climbed up our chosen tree and used rope to affix them per my friend's instructions. According to him, this was how tree forts were made. Time flew by and soon the sun began to set.
We hit the jackpot!
In our search for materials, we came across a large quantity of wooden planks. As we hauled them back, however, we heard sirens in the distance.
I wonder what all the fuss is about.
Dunno. Just then I got a really bad feeling. Dread crept into my heart. Why don't we call it a day here and go back home?
Come on, you promised you'd stay with me all day today, remember? A sacred vow, man to man.
Yes, I remember.
Then we're staying.
Fine. The boy seems kind of like an asshole. I don't know if I want to be friends with him.
Oh yeah, that reminds me. I found something cool at the lake.
What is it? This something cool was a blue tarp floating on the lake's surface. Neither of us knew what it was doing there. Maybe it was blown there by the wind.
See that? We could use that to keep the rain off.
But it's so... Oh god, the kid's gonna drown in the fucking lake. But it's so far out there, we can't go into the lake to get it.
We just need a long enough stick or something.
Positioning himself on the very end of the lake pier, he used a tree branch to attempt to reel the tarp in. Unfortunately, the tarp was at the mercy of the lake's tide, which pulled it back and forth.
Just a little further.
Don't push yourself, I'll do it.
No, I can do it myself.
With a firm hold on his calves to keep him from falling in, I kept a close eye on him.
Thank God I found you.
Oh, thank God I found you, said Dude. Then a hard-eyed man came dashing out of the forest. I told you our friend was Wolf. Well, okay, first of all, he had the wolf thing and the 3 balls on it, and that was just kind of obvious, but okay. Look for a boy in a riding hood. You must be Wolf.
Whoa!
The man grabbed me by the arm. Your grandmother collapsed. She's being taken to the hospital as we speak. She's been asking for you this whole time. Hurry up and get over there.
Grant!
Just then there was a loud splash.
Help me!
My friend had slipped and fallen into the lake. I mean, if the man grabs you, you're trying to hold your friend from falling. This is the man's fault, like Jesus. Because he was forbidden from most physical activity, naturally, he didn't know how to swim. Shh! The man whipped off his jacket. Unsure of what to do, I just stood there. You need to get going. Your grandma's waiting for you. He gave me a little push. But I was torn between my friend drowning right in front of me and grandmother, who had allegedly been whisked away to the hospital. After a fraction of a second, I turned my back on my friend and took off running. And we know the friend doesn't die. Grandmother! When I arrived, I found grandmother lying in a hospital bed. Why? I didn't understand what had happened. Just yesterday she was the very picture of health, but today she stared blankly up at the ceiling, her face pale and lifeless.
Who's there? Is that you, little wolf?
Evidently her eyes weren't working, or else she would have known it was me. Yeah, it's me, Grandma. I lowered my voice to try to sound more like my friend.
Well now, thank you for coming, sweetheart.
I was just really worried about you and stuff.
I'm sorry to frighten you, dearie.
Tears poured from her unseeing eyes. The sight made my own eyes grow hot, but I blinked back the tears and focused on my act. No kidding, dude. I was super worried and stuff.
I was worried about you, too. I'm so sorry for everything that I said. I was inconsiderate of your feelings.
No. You did nothing wrong, Grandma. It was my fault. All of it. Because I'm a bad kid.
That's not true, sweetheart. and no one thinks that. You're a precious angel, and I'm proud to call you my grandson.
Grandma. I'm sorry, Grandma. I love you lots and lots. Honest. This is like the saddest fucking thing ever.
I love you too, Wolf. I wish I could always be around to protect you. I'm sorry.
Don't talk like that. We're gonna be together forever, and I'm gonna get stronger. Don't you want to see me when I'm all grown up? I know you do. I'll run fast and swim, and I'll even climb trees like nobody's business. So please, please, don't leave me. I choked out the words through my sobs. It's not even his grandma, and it's so fucking sad. And it's so even more sad because you're like, I almost feel bad for Wolf. I do feel bad for Wolf because he's drowning in a lake. He's going to get here, and we got the last moments with his grandma. We abandoned him and then took his last moments. He wouldn't have made it here anyway. We'd be like, okay, so here's what your grandma said to you. But like, we still, oh God, I didn't mean to like click off of my screen, sorry. But like, oh God. Anyway. And this was more proof that I was a bad kid. I was supposed to be a stand-in for my friend, but instead I was telling her my own feelings. Oh, that's right. I brought you some flowers, Grandma. You like flowers, right?
Flowers?
Yeah, not some stupid wildflowers either. They're real flowers from the flower shop. I showed her the bouquet I'd hastily purchased on my way here. They're called carnations. Carnations were similar to roses, except softer and less intimidating. Much like grandmother herself.
Well now, I bet they look just beautiful.
Yeah, really pretty. Standing at her bedside, I took her hand and brushed it against the flowers. The red petals formed the perfect backdrop for her wizened old hand.
Oh, you're right. They're beautiful. Thank you, sweetheart. You're an angel. I'm so proud of you.
Thanks. She smiled softly and closed her eyes. I don't remember much of what happened after that. I'm not sure what happened to grandmother or how I got home from the hospital. I just remember standing outside my house. And this time the lights were on inside. Was my mother home? And by that point, it was late at night. She must have realized that I disobeyed her. Oh no. Would she yell at me? Would she cry? I'm home. When I opened the door, I found my answer. It was then that I understood my mother wasn't going to yell at me, nor would she hug me. She looked at me with cold, unfeeling eyes. And after that day, she never came home again. What the fuck? She just abandoned him? Dear Lord, where did I go wrong? You didn't! Your mother is a heartless whore! If I had obeyed my mother, if I had never ventured outside, if I had never spoken with that wolf, maybe this tragedy could have been averted. But now I am alone. Now I have no one. No one needs me. This is only natural, of course, because this is my punishment for being bad. From now on, I'll never wander off again. That's what he said as a child. This was the vow I made to myself. That is so tragic! What the actual fuck? His mom is a heartless wench. She, instead of yelling at him, she's just like, you didn't fucking obey me, and she just never comes home again? What the fuck? I can't even. Holy shit. Jesus, no wonder he's got fucking issues. Oh my God. Well, anyway, I'm going to wrap this part up here. And I will see you guys next time. Remember to give the video a big thumbs up and subscribe to see more.